Hey there, and welcome to Swimming with Sharks. I'm your host, Kevin Dean, CEO of Manobyte, and I am thrilled to have you join us as we navigate the fast-moving waters of AI in the enterprise. In today's episode, I'm sitting down with a serial entrepreneur and investor, Brian Esposito. Brian is the powerhouse behind over 115 companies and 200 plus joint ventures across 25 industries. He's the CEO of DLMI, a public company with a bold vision for tokenization and a brutal honesty on the current AI wave. Our topic, the real impact of AI on work, business, and society. But this isn't just another hype train episode. Brian pulls no punches. From his cautious stance on investing in AI to his concerns about mass job displacement, social instability, this is the kind of raw, unfiltered perspective most people aren't brave enough to share. Brian is going to give you a rare investor's lens on the ethical risks of AI adoption. But to get started, let me share some context. AI agents are digital workers built to perceive, decide, and act without waiting for human input. Think of them as employees who never sleep, never forget, and never miss a meeting. They observe, decide, and act, all without waiting for human approval. AI agents don't follow static instructions. They interpret data, adapt to new conditions, and optimize workflows in real time. That's what makes them fundamentally different from automation tools most companies still rely on. Now, in the workplace, these agents are quietly transforming how work gets done. They automate repetitive, mundane tasks, things that are time consuming, things from data entry, email triage, to report generation, scheduling. In the customer service space, they provide 24/7 support, resolving issues instantly, and they know when to escalate to a human. They can optimize supply chains. They can screen resumes. They can surface insights, and they can enable better, faster decisions by processing information no human team could ever keep up with. That's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. So let's get Brian's perspective on the impact of AI agents and the future of work. Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to talk to my friend, Brian Esposito. Brian, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Kevin. How are you today?
Oh, my goodness. I am loving it, loving it, loving it. So I am so excited to talk to you today. There's so much going on in the world right now as it relates to people's feelings around the impact that AI can is going to have on people today, tomorrow, what we should be thinking about, how we should be looking at things. And I'm super excited to get your perspective. But before we dive in, Brian, can you just give everybody a little bit of background about yourself? That way, everybody can begin to understand your perspective on what's going on right now in the world.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be interesting when you hear my background and my feelings towards the topic of the day. But 24 plus years as an entrepreneur, building, starting, acquiring companies. There's two verticals of my life. There's my private holdings, which are known as Esposito Intellectual Enterprises. Currently, that consists of over 115 entities. We operate in over 25 different industries around the world, and proudly accumulated over 200 joint ventures also around the world. So that's been my evolution of my career, working with incredible people, startups, founders, legacy companies that needed a boost to continue to go further, companies that are in distress that we brought in, that we turned around, or concept of startup companies just to keep pushing them towards a successful journey and path. I became very active in tokenization and crypto about 13 years ago, but not as a speculator buying other people's projects or ideas, but building those new financial instruments into our companies and creating new IP and blockchain. Also, as a U.S. citizen, I knew I had to do it within the guidelines of laws, rules, and regulations. So I went down the security token path, which are regulated, registered SEC digital securities, and rolled out the first of its kind of those. Then in August of 2023, the other vertical of my life is a public company known as DLMI that I took over. CEO, we've created an incredible team, great advisors and board members, exceptional new vision and strategy on what does the future of tokenization look like built into a public vehicle and building companies and assets. So that's my world. I made every mistake you can think of. I'm a technologist. I love building and creating and launching new technologies, and I love making some kind of impact on the world that has a positive outcome for humanity.
I love that. So there's two things that stand out to me. One, when you make mistakes, you learn more from the mistakes than you learn from the things that you got right. And the second thing that you said is that you love making an impact on society and people.
Yes, sir.
Those are two great perspectives. And so, what I'm interested to hear as an investor, someone who's looking at companies day in and day out, um, someone like you have to have a thought around the impact that AI can have and is having on two things. One, the way the future of work from what businesses do, and a future of work from what it can have an impact on people. What are your? Let's start with the first one. The impact that you think it's going to have on businesses and what they should be thinking about.
Uh, yeah, a loaded question. So it depends on if it's a private or public company. So public company's entire model and ethos is shareholder value and profitability and margin. So, when times are good, companies hire people and scale. When times are bad, the first thing to do is fire people and have more margins and more profitability to help support a higher share price. So when you're looking at things like AI and a lot of the news that we've seen and a lot of the piece of a lot of the concerning points in my mindset is its ability to impact jobs and eliminate jobs. From my point of view, I love helping people, right? I love creating opportunities for people. I love building new products or opening up new markets that would then open up new distribution. That again, the domino effect is you need more people to support that energy and that motion. So the impact I see and how I'm very carefully navigating how AI is ever part of any of the companies that I manage or am part of or our public vehicle, I'm I'm the last to the party, which is against who I am, right? Building technologies and creating technologies I've been doing since a kid. That's what I love to do. But I have this allergic feeling or this nauseousness that's just it's like it's second nature. I'm not even thinking about it. When I hear it, I get so tense because I don't see anything with guardrails. I just see buzzwords that's raising billions and billions of dollars for companies. I see it so fragmented and so all over the place. I would have loved to seen AI is going to be the next biggest thing. We're raising billions of dollars to go and cure cancer, to go and cure heart disease, to go and fix, make sure there's no more food scarcity in the world. But it's a shotgun. It's everywhere. There's all these different new AI initiatives and concepts and movements, which is exciting as an investor, right? You have companies that are making a fortune off of it, but the impact and the world that I live in, I don't see the impact besides it being very negative. And maybe this AI movement's going to make humanity 100 years from now perfect, but I don't live there. We don't live there. We live in today's world, and why do people have to be hurt today? Because we're going to have a better 100 years from now. So I can't get behind that.
Yeah, that is great. And what I love about what you're saying is that um, you're thinking about people in general and what's going to be best for them in the long term. And based on what you're seeing, because you work with a lot of companies right now, do you feel that there's not enough people thinking about the total impact that this can have on jobs, the economy, and the future of work?
I see nobody thinking about that. I just see it as hell. Remember the metaverse and how big that was going to be and how much money that raised for companies starting in what during the pandemic, and then it just fizzled out and went away because there was no real strategy or structure or vision behind it. Maybe my definition of the current idea of AI is immediate access to information and answers to whatever needs to be done. So to me, that's a huge negative impact on the legal and law industry, on the medicine and medical industry. They're going to be obsolete, right? And these are. Then what does that also mean to the schools and educational systems and the entire system that was based upon you need more people to go through these, to help more people, to understand the law, to understand medicine, to understand whatever needs to be done. Everybody's going, besides me, everybody goes to ChatGPT and they brag about it. And then that's also gospel. Who says that that's gospel? Who says that that is perfect information that you're getting? Like, I don't understand who gave that the authority to be the be all end all. Very concerning for me.
No, that is great that you have that perspective. That is concerning. Now, a lot of people who may be listening to this show, they've got questions, right? Like, there's a lot of hype around AI. Are your concerns that what you're seeing from a technology space really isn't real, and this is just a lot of talk, or is your concern rooted around the standpoint that what AI can do is real, but people haven't considered what are the downstream impacts?
I don't. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody, but I haven't seen anybody really talking about the impact that it's currently having or the downstream impact. For me, I think it's going to lend a major hand in a more socialism government around the world, because you're going to be eliminating millions of jobs, and it's bragged about, right? We implemented AI, we implemented robots into warehouses, we implemented this system into this. All these companies, even banks, even though they had these planned layoffs, and they call it planned layoffs like it was part of their strategy, they've been implementing AI for years. And is that the reason for these planned layoffs? And as a public company, again, eliminating a job for a fraction of the cost with a computer technology or some sort of an AI engine that can handle a 24/7 human being with no rest. Yeah, I get the mathematical interest in that, or the appetite in that. But when it becomes, what about that person that no longer has income? And how does that affect the local economy when they can't go to their local Chick-fil-A because they have no money, or they can't pop into Target and pick up a few things because they don't have a job? Or they have to take Social Security, or have to get on unemployment. And what does that mean for all of the rates and benefits that we pay into? So I don't know what you do with billions of people that are potentially affected by no longer having a job, because now we're rolling out AI to be able to take that job away from them. And then there's a psychological aspect of not having any, no purpose. What do you do with a bunch of people walking around with no purpose? That sounds like a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, those are valid things that that people should be thinking about. And I appreciate that you're sharing these valid concerns, because it seems like to me it's not a question of if these things are happen, but what should, but when it happens. So from your perspective, um, I don't think you or I or anybody is going to have the ability to stop these mega companies
No.
from moving forward. So there's nothing we can do about that. From your perspective, from a practical point of view, what should small businesses be doing to prepare themselves, and what should individuals be doing to prepare themselves?
Well, I think you have to adapt or die, right? As a small business, in order for you to survive, are you going to have to incorporate AI at some capacity so you can stay not only relevant, but you can be competitive to the company across the street that's doing it? So I think you're going to be forced to bring these things into your organization. No, everybody's got a Shopify store now, right? But the mom and pops that don't have a hard time connecting with the new audience and moving products that may be on their shelves or in their warehouse. So you do need to incorporate these things. I just think you need to be careful about, we all crave human connection.
Hmm.
And I have I don't believe an AI engine's ever going to really have a human emotion, because our emotions change on the fly, depending on what's going on in the world or what's going on in our day, or who just made us happy, who just made us sad or angry, and then how do we interact with the next person because of the previous interaction. That's a human being,
Yeah.
and I don't know anybody that doesn't get frustrated when they're on the phone with an AI pretend human being. Well, we know it's not a human being. I don't care how close they get; it's
Right.
not. I don't know. I feel like I'm the idiot. Like I'm the robot talking to somebody. It's just not natural. Um, but again, like you mentioned, the powers that be have a plan. I'm just very cautious about how I bring it into my organizations and companies that I'm part of. But hell, if a mom and pop shop, or even somebody's wants to go and start up a company, Jesus, it's the best and easiest time to create something. You can go create your logo for free. You can go create a whole. You don't even need to manually make a deck or a presentation anymore. You just throw it into this engine or a chat GPT, and it gives you this, and then what? It's lazy. It's absolute laziness. And then you're going out raising money off of a vision that's not even yours. That you were, I don't know, you were manipulated into thinking that now that's your vision, but it's actually a computer telling you the vision. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's just
No, no,
nuts.
no.
You,
Yeah.
you go you go on X lately, and everybody makes this AI toy of themselves, and like
Yeah, I've seen those.
that's everywhere. And I was like thinking, do I need to do that? No, I'm not a sheep. That's why I live in stress. That's why I always out in the world battling the every demon I could think of to just survive and get through the day and build. But if I sat back and started doing that, I feel like I feel like it's brain dead, because you're not even doing anything. You're not creating anything by telling somebody else to create it for you.
No, that's great. I love your perspective. So you talked a little bit about what small businesses need to do. What do you think, just on an individual perspective? Like, I you know, I'd love to hear two things. Number one, what do you think, the average worker needs to be thinking about? And then number two, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Um, I've got a teenager and a preteen. Um, what should parents even be thinking
Yeah.
about sharing with their kids?
Yeah, scary. Well, what question you want first?
Uh,
You hit me with.
let's do the kids last. Do the kids
Okay.
last.
I forgot the other two questions.
Yes, yeah. So the first question was, as an individual looking at a changing workplace, what should I be thinking about?
As an employee,
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I think you should be ready that you could be replaced at any moment by an inanimate technology product. Even skilled people, like it just at any moment. So you're gonna have to just, I don't know. It's a tough call, because I also think that there's a global correction in play, and credit card debt's at an all time high. People are behind on their mortgage and car payments. Like, times are tough, so you have to. What's the old saying? Expect the best, prepare for the worst. I mean, that's what you need to do. So be smart about how you spend your money. Try forcing yourself to save, cut back. You don't really need a lot. Like, just make sure you're able to survive and weather a storm. And I think things like trade schools are going to be more powerful and important than ever. Like, learn a trade, learn a skill. Um, you could go out and try to be an entrepreneur. Again, it's probably the easiest and best time where you could start a business without a lot of upfront capital or any capital at all. Find a passion that you love. I mean, everybody wants to make their mark on this world, and you know, don't be blindsided if your job gets replaced or you lose your job because either the company can't afford you or because they replace you with some sort of AI, which is happening. So in the meantime, you can start preparing that maybe you can exit. Maybe there's something else that you could do. Maybe you could enter some sort of a service industry where you can provide value to your local economy. And there's a lot you can do. Just don't do it in a place of desperation because you didn't do any planning. Right? That's
Mhm.
that's where you don't want to be in that moment, because that's when Desperate times call for desperate measures. That's when people do things that they were forced to do just to survive. Maybe you find yourself in harm's way when you're in that position in life, and right now you have time to avoid that.
So these are some great breakout points here. What I heard is begin planning now. Don't be too dependent on things, your employer. Simplify your life, and I would kind of pull into that. Now's the time for people to be thinking about re upskilling, re-educating, training themselves on new skill sets for the future. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about we're talking about the future. What about these kids? Now, Brian, do you have kids?
I just had my first little one.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exciting.
Thank you.
That's exciting. So I just read about 2 months ago there was an article in MIT Review. It was entitled "Happy Birthday, Baby," and it was a journey of um, babies born this year, what their future looks like as they progress. It's a fascinating read to think about how people are envisioning the future, completely different from the way it was when you and I grew up. So,
Sure.
so what do you think as a parent? How do you prepare your kids for a new world, or do you feel like maybe we don't need to because just like our parents did things different from the way that we did it, they're just going to naturally adapt to these new things. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, to each their own. I mean, every parent's got their own ideas. Like this thing is going to be far away from her for as long as possible because I want her to have social skills and out and about in the world, and whatever she wants to do, play a sport, join a chess club, like just participate in human interaction, in physical human interaction with somebody.
Yeah,
Even these things numbed us down as far as, I mean, this is amazing that wherever you are and wherever I am, we could do this, but there is such thing as Zoom fatigue. And I think all these screens have caused such a disconnect, even though it's connecting us. And it's just a whole new superficial level of connection that is bizarre to me. But I'm old school. Like all my relationships and my network, I reach out to them and go through the list. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Birthday. I heard you had a baby. Congratulations. Oh, I saw your mom sick. How's she doing? Send a card, send a plant, send a gift basket. Like things that I grew up on
yeah,
again, human interaction and seeing people and appreciating people. Like, but that's a dying breed. I mean, for people to call me or message me and be blown away that I did a simple act of kindness is really unacceptable. Like that should be normal. Like
yeah,
it's so I want her and parents to instill skills into their child where they can survive. Right. I know the hell that I've been through in my life. I know I can survive anything outside of a terminal disease. So whatever life wants to throw at me, I'll get through it because I've been through so much. I don't think a lot of youth have the backbone, experience, or strength to weather anything. Like I used to have parents call me for a 27-year-old employee saying they weren't going to come to work today, and I think I threw up on the phone. Like I just,
yeah,
it's that's what, like,
yeah,
what,
yeah,
what,
yeah.
baffling. So I think it's a parent's job to prepare their child to be able to handle life. And life can suck. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Life is debilitating. Life is scourging. It's all these things. But your job is to provide the tools and resources and support your child needs to know that they can handle anything. Whether it's an AI invasion where they can't find a job, or it's whatever else the evolution of our humanity brings them. But there's always going to be a challenge. More money doesn't mean less problems. I think Jay-Z has a big song about that. Like there's just nobody's immune to it. But the people that are survivors are the ones that are out in the street getting their ass kicked and figuring life out. And you should ensure your child does that.
Yeah, that's great. It reminds me of a quote that I heard. The dead bird underneath the nest never learned to fly, right? If you don't give your kids the skills and the ability that they need, teach them how to fly, then they won't do well.
That's right.
Oh man, those are great thoughts. So, as you are thinking about companies that you are going to invest in, companies that you're looking at, what are some key things that you're looking at today, and is it different from the way that you were looking at companies in the past?
I look at my process is kind of timeless. It's not really always about the company; it's about the leadership. So for me, is the CEO or the founders, are they ethical? They have integrity. They have morals, values. They have empathy. I look for empathy as number one thing. How do they feel and treat a fellow human being, regardless of what they can or may not be able to get out of that human being? Like that's to me, I need to see that. And if we're not aligned on those things, then we won't do business together. And I don't care how much money we can make together. I will not put you in my life because I know you're motivated by just things or materialistic things, and that's your God and that's your North Star, and that's fine. That's on you. But I know you'll do anything to obtain more things, and by me knowing that's your mentality, you're going to put me in harm's way. You're not going to care about me or anything that I've worked my ass off building. So I need to be aligned with those types of things, and someone that works hard. You should have balance in life. You should have family and passions. But if you're not working hard and making some sort of sacrifices by going out there and trying to make something of yourself, then I don't think you're worthy of my time because there's a lot of people around the world that'll work their asses off and they just don't know the right people and they just don't have the right access and they're never going to get out of that rut or that routine. So I look for a hard worker. I look for people that make some sacrifices in their day and their lives, and I look for those slips, those few characteristics I shared with you prior.
I love that. I love that. And so, so as you're looking at companies, I know we definitely understand your thoughts, where your thoughts are as it relates to AI. Are you looking at companies that have AI as a part of their solution, and are you investing in companies that are in the
No,
AI space?
no, I'm
Not
not.
a
No, I'm not. Um, and that's fine. And if I miss a $1 billion win, I don't care because I feel today, and I hope that my mindset will change because I hope it becomes a necessary part of who we are as humans and animals and life and food and water scarcity. Like I want it to work, I do, but today I know it's hurting people, and I know
Mm,
people are jobs are being eliminated, and I understand that there's really no control in that machine that's been turned on. So I don't want to participate in it. I don't want to. I mean, I could have created technologies around AI because, again, that's who I am. I want to create
right.
technologies, and I refuse to do it. So I don't know if it's something like selling your soul because it goes against my DNA. How can I create something that I know is going to replace 100, 1,000, a dozen, a million jobs? Like that's not who I am. Um, so no, I'm not. I want nothing to do with companies that have AI. To be honest with you, now some of our holdings utilize third party AI for some additional enhancements, but it doesn't mean that people have been eliminated from those jobs. They're just utilizing new tools. So that's where I am right now, and I think there needs to be some regulatory boundaries and guidelines on how it's being used and deployed and the impacts. It's way. I think it's just very dangerous, and it's given endless power, and that's because you got guys like Musk that what they just raised 80 billion or something for his AI company. You have Open AI and this AI arms race. I mean, they rule the world. They rule the country now. They rule the world. Like it's just it's a lot of resources being poured into that, and I think it's very unfortunate because I think a lot of diseases should have been cured, and a lot of I think what is it? I don't want to misspeak there, but I feel like it's 2 or 3 billion ends world hunger. So Really? This is what we're choosing to do now. Hopefully, the AI can make corn and potatoes and wheat grow 5,000 times faster so you can feed people. But I don't think that's going to happen because there's no money in any of that shit. People it's just very offensive where I see money being raised and spent. And then if it doesn't work out and it doesn't create a return, then that wealth is just evaporated and those resources are just evaporated.
Brian, you are an amazing human being, and I thank you so very much for this very real conversation. I think
Thanks, Kevin. I feel like
um,
I got angry. I apologize.
Oh
It's
no,
passion. I'm
no, no!
passionate
I
about
think
this.
it's passion. I think it's passion, and I think this is a passion that listeners are going to want to hear and that they're going to appreciate, right? So they
Yeah.
get a really good perspective. Now, I'll tell you a very human thing is music. Music is a very human thing. It's just a beautiful thing, and I love, love, love music.
Me
It's one
too.
of my passions. Uh, so I always ask this question. I'm always interested. Uh, what are you listening to? Give me one song that I can go and rock out to after we're done on this call. Give what's on the playlist.
Yeah, I'm a huge Gaslight Anthem fan. It's a New Jersey band. And look at the 59 Sound, one of my favorite songs of all time. I think the album's also called that, but look for the single called the 59 Sound.
The 59
It's
Sound.
it's pretty badass. That'll you can rock out to that any day of the week, anytime, any day of the week.
Oh man! So we're going to be tuning that up right after we're done with this.
Awesome.
Brian, this has been so, so great, my friend. Thank you so very much. This has been awesome and look forward to having many more conversations with you.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate the opportunity. Have a good day.
Bye now.
Bye.
Oh man, reflecting on this conversation with Brian, I keep thinking about one word: perspective. But what Brian brought to this conversation wasn't hype. It was a grounded human view from someone who's seen behind the curtain of hundreds of companies. He reminded us that innovation doesn't have to come at the cost of empathy. That just because you can automate something doesn't mean that you should. And that while AI might offer short-term efficiencies, we have to ask deeper questions about the long-term impact on jobs, communities, and even the emotional well-being of the next generation. Brian's message wasn't anti-tech, it was just pro-human. It was a call to be intentional, to build thoughtfully, and to make sure that we're not trading purpose for profit. And that's the kind of perspective we need a little bit more of. If this episode made you pause, if it challenged the way that you're thinking about the future of work and technology, do me a favor, subscribe to Swimming with Sharks. We're just getting started, and I promise we'll keep bringing you the voices that aren't afraid to swim against the current. Until next time, stay sharp, stay human, and just keep swimming.